Alright everybody, this is the gold farm. So in order to get inside the gold farm, I've set up a few roadblocks. Unfortunately spiders can still manage to get their way in, but other than that, it should provide enough safety so we don't get interrupted by zombies and skeletons and creepers. In order to access this farm, you'll need to use a little bit of parkour, and you can easily make your way up and over using these platforms that I've made. Now if you have a look on either side, it's all symmetrical, so all the design is laid out exactly the same on all four corners. Where these water columns are though, it's a little bit different, but it's the same concept. You jump onto these platforms and you can make it to the other side, and there is a way to get over from this side, which is to use the blue column to get onto this platform to then make your way out. So we will begin by explaining the preparation of what needs to be done in order to make this thing run smoothly. This is the main corridor, and now these four corridors are all exactly the same. They all lead into this central location where you can easily rescue one of these guys. So if you have a look along this wall, there's a lot of these potion brew stands that have been prepared earlier with some splash potions. So it's as easy as grabbing one of these, crafting yourself up with a few golden apples, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. But for the meantime, I'll leave these items here and I'll wait for some gold to flow through so I can show you how everything works. Now in order to get to the next platform, you'll need to use these staircases. So you spiral up, come to this platform, and let me just spend a few moments to explain this area. There are 4 lines of hoppers to deliver 4 types of items. Now one thing I didn't consider was the mob heads, but I'll have to save that for another day to fix up. So at the moment we'll have a few mob heads that filter through these lines where the gold swords and armor pieces start to filter through. So the 4 items in question that I had in mind originally was the gold ingots, gold nuggets, gold swords and armor pieces, and also the rotten flesh. So all 4 lines distribute the items separately, so it's all sorted for ease of access, and everything should be automated to a certain degree, so it's pretty self-explanatory. You'll find from the underside, if you go back down to level 1 again, that you can access these points and grab what you need to make necessary repairs or emerald trades in order to progress yourself as a crafter. Alright, so that's explained. Let me get to part 2, which is laying the foundations for lots and lots of gold. Okay, so you come up through this water column, you can get back down through this one, and it's as simple as coming up, opening the trapdoor, closing both trapdoors, and climbing to this next segment. And you'll notice that you can walk into these trident killers. So there's 4 trident killers in total, and right now they're empty of any tridents, and my plan for this server is to have everybody use their own tridents. So once you have 4 tridents minimum, best to have 2. Okay, it's as simple as placing your 2 tridents like so and closing up these gates. We'll switch out for another 2 tridents and we'll do the same for all 4 sides. Remembering to close these gates, otherwise you'll have a lot of problems once the pigments start to filter out. So place all the tridents, close all the gates, and we'll move on to the next set of instructions. Okay, so once those are all done, you come down to this bottom level, activate the trident killers, and you can hear with your own ears how well this works. It's kind of good. And then we make our way to our 3rd platform. So we come up to here, and let me just spend a few moments to explain how this all works. There's going to be 12 total portals, but at the moment I've only rigged up 4 to work, so the inner 4 most portals. Now when this gets activated, all the zombie men will fall into the water stream and they'll end up coming towards these areas. Now the design is so that they can see these turtle eggs, which they are very fond of, and as they try to reach it, they'll plummet to their death down these chutes, which is where the trident killers are kind of prepped up and ready to annihilate some pigmen. Now that's explained. Let's go and actually activate the portals. So to do that, we'll go firstly straight down to the very bottom. Come down to this level, and using our parkour skills, we'll make our way to this platform over here onto the other side of the gates. And we'll ride this bubble column all the way up to the first of the 2 platforms. Now if you look carefully, there's another platform right above us, and that was my original design, which failed. So this was a second fix, and this seems to be working a-okay. Now in order to start this, you need to flick this switch, not this one. I might leave a sign letting everybody know which one to actually use first. And what I've done is I've deactivated all the redstone lines to the back ones, because at the moment it's not quite efficient and it just causes tremendous amounts of lag, so it's probably advisable not to actually try to use those. And for demonstration purposes, I will only use maybe, okay, we'll stick with 8. We'll make 8 flint and steels, and I'll show you where to exactly put them. Oopsie. There we go. Alright, we've got all our flint and steels ready in our inventory. We'll climb up to this second platform. You don't really necessarily have to be here. You can be right here. Access these front 2 hoppers, and for demonstration purposes I'll only put 2 in each. Now let me go to the other side because it's separated, and the easiest way to go there right now if you watch carefully, you come along here and you make your way into these columns again, making sure you get off the right access point, which is this one right here. And like I've done on the other side, mirrored image, I will place 2 flint and steels into these dispensers. Hopefully one day in the future I'll have enough time to have these completely jam-packed, but at this moment in time I've got so much stuff to actually do already that I might leave that. Now the trident killers have to be turned on first before you activate this thing, so I've done that already. And if I click this switch, it begins. Right now it's set to 2 ticks, so it's quite quick, so bear that in mind. And they will just continue to filter through, and even if they get stuck on this wall, they'll eventually manage to get themselves all the way in. So that's quite good. So we'll quickly make our way over to this other side, jump into this little water column, and we'll activate this side as well. So now that that is done, we will go to where the trident killers are. I didn't need to fly there like that. Now in the future, I'm going to have a looting 3 sword set aside for everybody to use. So for now, I'll just use my own looting sword. And my original design was for the XP orbs to all get filtered through here into one central point. But for some reason, I'm not sure why, but I think it might have to do with the speed at which the pistons move. Might be making it too quick for these XP orbs to actually escape underneath this trapdoor that I've set. So at this moment you cannot AFK this thing because it might generate too much lag with the XP orbs floating around. So yeah, if you stick to these brown corners of this glazed terracotta piece, you'll be in safe distance to collect all the XP while at the same time activating the looting 3 effects. So you get lots of stuff. Now this won't last too long because I've only set aside maybe 2 pieces each per portal. So wait patiently for this to finish, and then we'll move on to the next explanation. So So yeah, just periodically we'll just move around this case, making sure to collect all the XP, because that's the part that's probably going to cause this thing to break if no one actually takes care of it. I've done a few stress tests in the last couple of days to test how this works. It works pretty efficiently, but occasionally you'll see the items gather together in a centralized area, and that's because the hoppers aren't working fast enough to filter the items through. So it's probably preferable to use this thing at about an hour at a time. Or you might even have to switch it off and turn it back on every once in a while. But at the moment, since we don't have as many flint and stills working their magic, it seems to be running pretty good. And I think that's it. I think that should almost be the last of all the pigment coming through. There might be a few last stragglers, but other than that, it seems to be working quite well. Now once you've finished with this, or once these flint and stills are finished, it's a very good idea to go back down and making sure that all these switches are in the off position. Just to prevent any future lag that might come about. Okay, now we have to do one last thing before we leave, which is to come up to these first platforms, and we'll switch off these zero tick activators. So you can imagine what would happen if you left this running 24 hours. I don't think it would be very good for all the people playing and trying to craft things in this world. The last thing you want to do is come back to this platform and actually collect your tridents again. Because like I said, the tridents are yours, and you don't want people to be coming and rummaging through your valuables. So I will take these back, and for the future I might even start adding some tridents, maybe 2 per shulker box. And these last guys I might just quickly help along, like so. And I'll close these up again, ready for the next person to use. Now that is good. Good, done and dusted. And we'll ride this bubble column straight back down again, and I'll demonstrate how these work. So there's no fuel in these. I might fill these up later, but every once in a while you will have a few items that make it into here that shouldn't be here. So you can leave it for me to do, or you can actually run over here and have a look and see if there's anything that needs to be done. And if you have a look in here, everything gets auto smelted into gold nuggets. If you look in these 2 chests now, they'll be filled with some gold ingots and nuggets, which I'll gladly take. And because it's a mirror image of each other, it works exactly the same. You have to check both, because the hopper lines are split into 2 separate paths. So I'll have a look in here, and then there's always some random bits and pieces that you need to account for. So those seems to be clear. I'll take these, and this is all the gold that I just accumulated from 8 flint and stills. So if I convert all of these into gold nuggets, and then in turn turn them into gold blocks, this is how much gold I just got from all of that. So that's pretty good. The returns are really good. You just got to bear in mind when you use it, it's probably best that you use it when there's not many people online, because it will cause the whole server to lag. So we're back down here. I'll grab these apples and a splash potion again. And this is the whole purpose of this, so that it made it streamlined for ease of access. So from all those gold, I've just turned 8 or 7 pieces of apples into golden apples. Now, in order to use this place efficiently, you need to potion of weakness this zombified villager, and then cure him. And then also around this corner there is 1 bed, and just 1 bed, that you can use to speed up time. Now in order to keep the trades low, you have to make 1 round of trades, and then you have to sleep through the night in order to keep their cost down to 1 reduced item, or emerald, or piece. So we'll make sure that it's daylight again, and we'll go straight back through. I hope you guys like the design. It took me a little while. It's very intricate. I even put yellow terracotta into all these little spots. It's amazing. I love it. It's all for aesthetics. I like to build my farms so it looks really good. It's appealing to the eye, and it's also super functional, and it's easy to use with the least amount of work necessary to keep it in check. So hopefully you guys can appreciate the amount of work that I've put into this. And the next order of business is to simply take some rotten flesh, maybe even equip some broken tools, and it's as simple as going to each and every one of these guys to make the necessary trades. Okay, so obviously some of these guys don't have their trades activated. It might be because we've been doing so much rotten flesh trades in the last couple of days, but it's a very good place to come to in order to get yourself some really easy access emeralds. And as you can see, all my tools are getting repaired at a rate that you've never seen before. Alright, and that's basically the gold farm in a nutshell. If you have any inquiries about it, just send me a DM, you know where to find me. These guys cannot blow up because they can't actually see me because of this block here. But yeah, don't forget, you have to parkour your way in here. I don't like to see pillars, so I've made it pretty self-explanatory. And yeah, I do hope you like the design and the amount of effort that I've put into this thing to make it a reality. Now we've got access to as much gold as we ever need. And yeah, hopefully we can start decorating things more in gold, and we'll have plenty of golden apples for future fights and exploration in and around our server. Also, I've got a little bit of a terraforming project happening here, so if you're wondering what this is all about, it's all just a work in progress. But I do hope to make the surroundings even more prettier as time goes by. But yeah, hope you enjoy it. Bye! Hi guys, I've forgotten one key aspect to this build, and that's the formalities that belong to the people who designed some of these redstone mechanics. So if I quickly show you the interior of this amazing trading hall, you might be wondering where I got this design from, and that belongs to a Minecrafter by the name of Nexus. A lot's changed because I've taken out all the rails that once brought the villagers into these platforms or into these little holding cells, but this is actually a Nexus designed trading hall. I've combined this trading hall with a couple of different designs for the gold farm segment, and that accolade goes to a Minecrafter by the name of Prowl, who currently takes residence in the Truly Bedrock servers. So a lot of these things I did not come up by myself. I've used other people's tutorials to help me figure out a lot of the dynamics that make this thing work as it does. Now, these Trident Killers design is by Prowl, and if you have a look underneath these points here, you can see all the redstone that's been placed to make this thing work. And this belongs to a crafter named Prowl, so I need to say thanks to him for making this a reality, because up until now I've never seen a design for Trident Killers where you can access them like I'm doing right now. So that's actually a really brilliant thing. Another part of this build belongs to Prowl again, which is the way that the portals are activated. So I've made a few changes if you watch one of his videos, which I will link down below in the description. But yeah, it is what it is. I take my inspirations from many different sources. Another person that... oh no. Oh, you can't jump on these things. Okay, I didn't realize that. Okay, I accidentally broke one of my things just now, which kind of sucked. Oh, I broke another one. Okay, I've got to figure out a way to not do that again. All right. Okay, so guys, bear in mind those things can break if you step on them. We'll replace them because I've got a few spares. I might put like a little protective layer over the top just so that doesn't happen again. Also, another thing that I need to take into consideration is silent whisperers sorting mechanism. So if you have a close look, can't really see it from here, but that belongs to Silent Whisperer. He is the first person to have ever created this styled sorting system, and so far I've used it in many different projects, which I will make tutorials of. And yeah, hopefully that kind of explains where I got all the ideas from. But the general aesthetics of it was completely my design, the way that the hopper lines flow and all the water systems. And also one thing that I want to mention is this design of a water elevator. It's something that I've never seen before, and I just kind of came up with on a whim because I needed something in order to get to the very tippy top while making sure that it looks super cool at the same time. So yeah, thank you everybody for being patient. Yahoo!